Opening arguments start today in the Toronto trial of former fashion mogul Peter Nygard. He has pleaded not guilty to 5 counts of sexual assault and 1 count of forcible confinement for alleged offences that date back to the 1980s. Shannon Moroney is a trauma therapist and an author who is working with some of the complainants in this case. She's our guest in studio this morning. Welcome to your morning.
Thanks for having me, Anne-Marie.
Toronto is just the first of 4 jurisdictions where Nygard is going to face charges. He is the subject of similar charges in Quebec, in Manitoba, and in the U.S., where he's facing extradition. Nygard, through his lawyers, has denied all the allegations. How complicated has this case been?
This case is historic. Certainly in Canada, we haven't seen anything like this, where we have so many jurisdictions, as well as such a long time span of offences that women have stated happened to them, going all the way back to the 1970s.
What legal repercussions is Nygard facing?
Minimum sentences for sexual assault in Ontario are actually 6 months to a year, and that will probably be met with some shock to hear that. Forcible confinement can carry up to 10 years, but of course also other factors are taken into consideration if a conviction is achieved and we go to sentencing, such as the a level of violence and the offender's likelihood to be a threat to society or commit another offense.
As someone who is working with a few of the complainants in this case, their identities are protected by a standard publication ban. You've spoken before about obstacles that victims face when they are reporting crimes. Can you lay some of those out for us?
Yeah, I mean, certainly sexual assault is the most underreported crime in Canada. Just about 6% of those charges ever get laid based on reports that have happened. So there are many, many obstacles. We have it standardly across the board, feeling intimidated, feeling the absolute trauma of sexual abuse and sexual assault can make a person feel that they are not, they're not good enough, they're not worthy, just what it does to your psychology. So it's a lot to overcome to actually go and report to police, feeling that, are you going to be believed? What's going to happen next? And those barriers just increase if you're a racialized person, if you maybe you feel that you were not a perfect person in your life, because we still have very much the concept of the needing to be perfect, needing to be a perfect victim, because if and when you do go on the stand, you can expect to be scrutinized very, very, very hard. And in this particular case, in the Peter Nygard investigation and now trial, as in the cases of other wealthy, powerful people of influence, there's also an additional barrier to reporting, because we can just imagine if we are 17, 18 years old, 21, 23, and you see the person that is offended against you on TV, you know that they have endless economic resources. They've been photographed with politicians or other people of influence, as has Peter Nygard and other similar predators, or convicted or alleged predators. Then you are, of course, even more intimidated. Who am I? I'm a 17-year-old, nobody, so to speak.
Right.
And even if you do go to police, sometimes, as has happened in the past with some of these survivors who did already report in the 90s and the 80s, that they say that they were told by police, what do you want us to do?
Yeah.
And they might say, I just want to go home. Or what can we do? And there's been a little bit of a shrugging of shoulders. So to get this case now to happen now, it's been very difficult. And even on my end, to be the person, the advocate who's calling the police and saying, what about this? I've got someone who wishes to report. It's been a lot of hard work, a lot of pavement pounding, really.
In our last moments, just before we end this interview, Shannon, what does it take for someone to get on stand at a trial like this? Because this will not be the first time they've told this story.
That's right. No, but it will be, very much in the public, even though they're protected by a publication ban. It takes an enormous amount of courage, of mental fortitude, and it really takes a lot of support. And that is the thing that we do not have. Victims do not have mental health support in this country, in this province. Nothing is provided. And I think that's something for the public to think about if we just put ourselves in that shoes of someone who's going to take the stands, is to remember to remember that the cost of justice is borne by victims.
It's good context to have as we start these trials. Thanks so much, Shannon, for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.